Axis Bank trades under pressure after receiving a letter of caution from the RBI advising them to exercise extreme caution and diligence to ensure strict compliance with KYC norms.
Shares of BLS International Services fall as much as 13% after the Ministry of External Affairs debarred the company from participating in any future tenders with the ministry for the next 2 years.
It's a flat debut on the bourses for Tata Capital. The shares list at 330 rupees against its issue price at 326 rupees, holding just around 330.
Shares of Avenue Supermart trade lower after reporting its September quarter numbers. The revenues grow by close to 15%, while higher depreciation impacts the profitability. Well, hello and welcome to Chartbusters. We're coming to you live from the CNBC-TV18 News studio. I'm Nigel, and with me is Mangalam. And for starters, because of the global backdrop, the Indian markets are down, but we're not out. We're down by close to around 80 points, which is par for the course. Most of our Asian peers are down more than 1% in today's trading session. And in the last few minutes, as you can see, the Nifty bank has moved into the green as well, Mangalam.
I just moved under the Nifty bank, Nigel, but be that, as it may, it's the temporary worries that were there for Axis Bank, which was basically sentiment negative. The stock opened lower. Thereafter, it's moved higher. And in that, what it's done is it's taken all the other stocks higher as well. So we have something like an IndusInd Bank, which has moved higher. ICICI Bank has done well. HDFC Bank and Kotak still under, the flat line right now, but have recovered from the low. So the Nifty bank doing well for the frontline index. And so long as the Nifty holds above this, 25,180 to 25,200 sort of level, which was earlier a bit of a congestion, now will become support after the Nifty broke out beyond that on Friday. Let's see whether it sustains and pulls back from here on or not. Let's get in Shivangi Sada of Motilal Oswal Financial Services for a quick check on the market. Shivangi, slightly lower in today's trading session, but coming off the lows.
Yes, very good morning, Mangalam and Nigel. Thank you for having me. So we've seen that the indices have, kind of made a comeback, and we've seen that despite India VIX, showing some sort of volatility, there has been the put-call ratio, which has kind of jumped to 1.3 levels, which is supporting the entire broader market. And in the last 6 sessions, we've seen that the index has been, witnessing very strong support-based buying, which is acting well for the index. Now, of course, we are going for buy and decline strategy, even though the market is a little range-bound today. But we are recommending to put a support near 25,150, which is the close support for the day. And positionally, 25,000 would be important to watch out for. For the upside move towards 25,450 and then 25,600 levels. So this would be the take on Nifty. Talking about Bank Nifty, of course, this index has been the one which has rallied the most in this entire 10 trading sessions. And we've seen that, of course, strength can be seen across the heavyweights, be it the PSU and the private names. We've seen revival even in the private names. Of course, the PSU has been leading the pack, but we've seen strength overall. And Bank Nifty is comfortably holding above its immediate resistance levels of 56,500 levels. So clearly a role reversal has taken place here. Now, there has been good amount of long build-up in most of the banking counters, which is now acting well for this one. So, we are recommending a buy on the Bank Nifty as well. And the next targets that we're looking at is 57,350 levels with a support near 56,350 zones.
Okay, all right. Shivangi, also wanted to ask you on individual stocks, what's in your radar?
So, Nigel, there is a problem of plenty today. A lot of stocks are having a good setup. And, first up on my radar is exchange-related counters. Comes up BSE, which has performed quite well from the last 7 trading sessions. And we've seen short covering convert into long build-up from the last 3 days now. And the way RSI is also placed very positively, this one's looking quite positive as it has negated, the downward sloping channel on the weekly basis as well. In fact, this entire space is having a good momentum, so tailwind from that will help the stock as well. So recommending a buy here with a target of 2470 levels and with a stop of 2330 zones. Second stock on my radar is Federal Bank. We've seen that, of course, Bank Nifty has outperformed, and with that, PSU space has been one of the star performers. Federal Bank has been one stock which has resiliently held on From the last 5 sessions, we've seen excellent volumes along with price action here. Now, there is a strong follow-up buying in this one as well. IVs have cooled off, which is quite positive for this one, and overall looking quite positive. So, recommending a buy here with a target of 220 levels and a support of 207.
All right. Wonder if you have a call on Maruti, because Maruti is picked pace as well as we move towards, the festive season. That stocks actually moved to a high once again. The day's high, Maruti. Shivangi, you have any thoughts?
Yes, absolutely, Manglam. Auto space are ones which are shifting gear right now. And if we talk about Maruti or Hero MotoCorp for that matter, both of these stocks are looking quite positive. Maruti specifically has, given a OI spurt of the last 9 trading sessions. So this one's looking quite positive for the next up move. This one would be a stable one for the next quarter as well. And we are roundabout looking at targets of 17,000 on Maruti with a support of 16,100 levels.
All right. Thank you so much for joining in and giving us your calls on the index and individual stocks, Shivangi. With that, let's get you some more ideas for profit. This one comes in from our colleagues at Money Control Pro, and today we have Madhuchanda De joining in.
Hi, we are talking about Inventurous Knowledge Solutions, or IKS Health, which is a technology-enabled healthcare solutions provider offering a care enablement platform assisting physician enterprises in the US, Canada, and Australia with a predominant focus on the US markets. The complete deployment of IKS platform has demonstrated the ability to improve EBITDA margin by close to 8.5% to 9% for the physician enterprise, thereby making it a compelling proposition. The opportunity size in the US healthcare market is huge, and the relative penetration of outsourcing on the provider side is relatively less. The growth journey of IKS has been driven by expansion within the top clients. The company has steadily evolved its business model to expand its addressable market and is also at the forefront of AI adoption. The acquisition of equity, which was done in 2023, is also turning around with steady improvement in its margin. While there are inherent risks in the business in terms of a single country and single sector exposure, the growth journey of IKS cannot be ignored.
All right, we take that point. Thanks a lot for that. With that, we'll slip into a short break. And on the other side, we have an interesting conversation lined up with Pramod Amte of InCred Capital. He'll talk stocks, market, and the strategy from here on. Stay with us. Welcome back. A couple of stocks doing very well. Adani Ports has moved higher. SBI Life is the other one which is spiking as well. And Axis Bank continues its recovery from the lows. But one stock which is lower in double digits is BLS International. A bit of a dampener coming in the form of the government debarring, or the Ministry of External Affairs debarring them for future contracts. Vinny joins in to take us through the details of this one. Vinny.
Yes, the stock is tanking in trade today. And like you mentioned, the Ministry of External Affairs has temporarily restricted the company from participating in the new the Indian mission tenders that will come in for a period of 2 years. Now, currently, as of now, when you look at it, this Indian mission tenders contribute around 12% of the consolidated revenue, 8% of their EBITDA of the company as well. The company is given a clarification saying that they're not expecting a financial impact coming in here in terms of the current business of the company. The existing contracts will continue is what they're highlighting. But obviously, the concern remains, what about the renewal of the contracts? What about newer contracts coming in and the revenue growth going forward? So that is a major concern that comes in for the company, especially Indian mission tenders, which is the government of India. When that side, you are not getting orders from your own country, what will it pan out for them in terms of the global front? That will be key to watch out for.
Right, thanks a lot, Vinny, for joining and giving us a quick update. To be fair, actually, the stock has recovered close to 5% from the low point of the day. But that said, let's welcome our next guest. We have Mr. Pramod Amte from InCred Capital, who joins us on the show. Hi, good morning, Mr. Amte, and thanks a lot for joining in. How are you feeling about the markets? You know, we have earnings season that's upon us right now. And the hope is that we'll see some kind of basing out in terms of earnings downgrades. And things could actually start looking up. Do you believe that could be the case? Or do you think there is still risk to the Nifty EPS assumptions?
Yeah, morning, Nigel. So broadly, we are seeing the last 2 months slide in Nifty is being withheld, especially in September, where we are seeing some improvement on back of the policy actions by both the government of India and also by the RBI, with which we feel that the near double-digit type of earnings cut on consensus happening for CY 26 and 27 hopefully maybe bottoming out in the September quarter. And definitely there is a reason to hope out or rise the wall of worry versus the slide on the hopes which we had in the last couple of months to turn around in the next quarter onwards. So hence, in the earnings season, it will be apt to look at the commentary of the management commentary versus the actual numbers for the September quarter.
All right, so more commentary than the actual numbers would be extremely crucial to track this time around, Mr. Amte. But I'm looking at your list of outperformers and underperformers, and you've made an addition to that list, Apollo Tyres, and you've made a deletion from that list, E2E Networks. Can you give us the rationale on both, and what is the kind of target that you're expecting on Apollo Tyres from here on?
So clearly, with the post GST cut, we are looking at two types of plays in the marketplace. One are the companies which will benefit from the volume side, where the customer demand elasticity is much better. Or the second one is where in the last couple of quarters, the intense competitive pressure has led to the margins hitting to the cyclical bottoms. Apollo falls into the second place, where the tire prices or discounting has been phenomenal, and clearly 7 to 8% type of price cuts to respond for GST may not move the needle drastically on consumption, but I think it will bring back sooner the normalcy on margins, especially where the natural rubber is also correcting. So hence, along with that, they have also done a corporate action for the high-cost Netherlands centers being closed and taken into P&L. So that favors broadly the tire stocks, and within that, our preference is Apollo. We clearly exited the upside which has come through from E2E, which we added around 2 months back after nearly a 50% rally on the AI infrastructure boom. We exit in the recent month.
Okay, very quickly, Container Corp is a company that you'll still like. That's been relative underperformer. You think things will look up from here on? If I look at the list, Container Corp, Camlin Fine, those are the stocks that the target price actually is the highest, even Globus Spirits. So give us quick rationale, which is the best among these three?
So clearly, in terms of a short-term triggers, Globus is where we clearly see some upsides, especially where the recent tenders for ethanol also clearly favor the space for grain-based players, in which Globus is a play on the broader side, along with the brand building which they are doing on the liquor front, where some of the brands are well recognized now and the traction is pulling through. So that's in the short term, but otherwise, if you look at the drivers for Concor is still the connectivity for the DFC happening in the second half. So the volume growth we are expecting to come through as we get into the second half. That's the better one. Camlin is a proxy beneficiary of the duty tariffs which are happening on the global space, especially both in US and Europe, where India is relatively better off versus the peer countries like China. And we expect the production shortfall which happened in the previous quarter to be overcome in the coming quarters and build up from the pricing and the volume action.
Okay, so Globus Spirits as well as Camlin Fine, couple of stocks that you like, which are very, very high target prices from these levels. Appreciate you joining in, Mr. Apte. A small but effective chat. Look forward to hearing your views in the time to come. Well, for the time being, we slip in a short break, come back, continue focus on markets and stock-specific action.
The market's taken a leg down once again. It slipped below the 25,200 mark for the Nifty, and this time the culprits could be, the FMCG stocks and the IT stocks. So if you pull up the IT index, Infosys, TCS, both of them at the low point of trade. And alongside that, we have HUL as well as Britannia. Both of them are lower as well. But beyond the markets, we have live visuals coming in from Israel as Hamas has released hostages under a ceasefire agreement. The exchange sees 20 Israeli captives held in Gaza for nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners. US President Donald Trump has declared the war in Gaza as over as he flew to West Asia, where he will address and co-chair a summit in Egypt on the ceasefire deal between both Israel and Hamas.
Well, on that note, though, we'll wrap up on this edition of Chartbusters. You stay tuned. Trading Hour comes up next.